So recently, I saw one particular scene in a movie that really put me off. It's one scene in the movie where villain of the movie picks up one piece of cake. Okay, he feeds the cake to this person on his right, and then feeds it to a person on his left, and then immediately next scene they show him explicitly washing his hands. And we are supposed to understand from it that casteism. It's untouchability at play. We are supposed to understand that. But my question is, what if he wasn't casteist? What if he just wanted personal hygiene? It's pretty natural to want to wash your hands, even if it's Queen Elizabeth you feed. Right? But now he can't because people around him are watching him, carefully observing him. So he doesn't wash his hands. By the end of the evening, flies are surrounding it, buffaloes are following him home. The next day he puts his hand on his wife. His wife is like, "Take your hand off. You are stupid. You are ignorant." Not a casteist though. And 2 days later he looks around, he's finally up, nobody's washing. And he starts washing his hands, suddenly a camera crew pops out. Late casteism. Guys. Like, I'm telling you, dude, this kind of neo wokeness there is starting to affect people around me also. Like, I don't know how many of you watch CSK games here? You watch CSK matches here? Are you aware of this one player called Kedar Jadhav? Kedar Jadhav is that person who 18th over of a T20 over match will defend the ball. Okay, as soon as I saw that scene, I'm like, asshole Kedar Jadhav. Right? A friend next to me goes, "Hey, you can't say that about Kedar Jadhav." I'm like, why? Why can't I criticize Kedar Jadhav? He's like, Kedar Jadhav alone you can't do. I'm like, why? Everybody before him have criticized, right? Dhoni have criticized. Because Kedar Jadhav is from an oppressed community. I'm like, shit, man. If he was from a forward community, I could have wholeheartedly abused this guy. If he was a Brahmin, no, I could have used a caste slur to insult to Parpana Naya. But then I thought, wait a second, who's casteist here? Okay, I saw him as a good or a bad cricketer. Okay, this friend of mine is the asshole who went there and read, Kedar Jadhav, which caste? Like, Tamil cinema has taken it upon itself to effect social change. Okay, the intention is great, but their actions are confusing us. Because if you look at the previous wave of cinemas, starting from 1990s up until the 2010s, the underlying theme of every cinema was take pride in your caste. You should be proud of your caste. And now suddenly they're saying, hey, there's nothing to be proud of. Tamil cinema has always glorified all of the upper caste. Okay, now when you're representing the oppressed communities, start glorifying them. Some of them are actually heroes, unlike these actors we see on screen. Like, have you guys seen this movie called Jai Bhim? Are you aware of that character called Raja Kanna? How he deals with the snake. You remember seeing that? With the cobra. Like, I'm like, that's one of the massest scenes I've ever seen. So it comes from a community that's called the Irrular community. And if you're not aware of this community, you haven't been to Crocodile Bank the way I have. Crocodile Bank is on ECR Road. But when you take a left instead, you enter a den with about 200 of the most poisonous snakes in the country. And in between these 200 snakes, two Irrulars. Smoking a cigarette, pretending like nothing is happening. On my way inside, I was immediately telling my friend, Machan, there must be close to 200 snakes here. And he's like, hey, listen, I know what these guys do. Okay, they would have removed the teeth of each of these snakes. And suddenly then, one of the Irula started responding to us in English. Because sometimes they give this tour to foreigners, they had to learn English. English needed training. Dealing with poisonous snakes, that came naturally. So they started giving and then when he was talking to us, we noticed that right behind him was this cobra. Right? Whenever he spoke, the cobra kept shaking his head like that. He's moving to his right, the cobra is looking like this. He's moving to his left, the cobra is looking like that. And he started telling us, listen, okay, we don't remove the teeth of these snakes. If we remove the teeth, maximum in 2 days, the snakes will be dead. So that's akin to be doing something illegal and killing the snake. So we don't remove the teeth of the snakes at all. And we noticed that when he was talking to us, one of his fingers was missing. We're like, sir, but what happened to your finger? He's like, oh, finger. Ramu took it. We're like, who's Ramu, sir? This cobra right here. and then he started his demo, right? This is called the Russell's Viper. If this guy bites 4 hours. This is great. If this guy bites you, 3 hours. But more dangerous than these two is this cobra who's right behind me. If this guy bites you, 2 hours. But unlike the other two, he has a short temper. You want to see? I'm like, no sir. We don't want to see. And then he's like, okay, now the demo has come to an end. Do you guys remember the names? My friend is like, yes sir, we remember the names. 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours. But your name, sir, must be Mr. Infinity. So I'm 30 years old, but I'm in the first good relationship in my life. My girlfriend recently moved away to study. She's gone to Kerala, and within, you know what happens when a woman goes anywhere alone? There's a pack of wolves that form around her. A pack of wolves that I used to belong to for the first 29 years of my life. 7 days she's been there. She already has 7 different stories. Who hit on her, how they hit on her. I'm like, go on, entertain me, tell me these stories. 6 out of these stories are hilarious. These guys are not my competition. They have no strategy, nothing. They get rejected on their faces. That's all they do. But the 7th story scared the life out of me. Because the 7th story is where my girlfriend, in her own words, was like, unlike the other guys, this guy is like a brother to me. I'm like, Adiye! 2 years back, I was like a brother to you. This is the brother strategy. I'll explain to you what the brother strategy is. The brother strategy is basically sitting in a job interview going, sir, any role you give me, I'll do, sir. Any role you give me, I'll do. Naai mari vada papa, sir. Accountant role you give, sir, I'll do, sir. Because at the end of that job interview, you just want to get into the company. But only after you get into the company will you think about the actual role you want to play, the actual heights you want to reach. Right? Company access card. That's what brother strategy is. It's basically company access card. I know exactly what this guy will do. I know what his strategy is, right? 2 years I have with my girlfriend until she finishes her course. At some point we'll get into a fight. At some point we will. Exactly then, this asshole, hi, this is your brother Vishnu. Here is my company access card. Ching! And before you know it, he'll be sitting in the managing director's seat. He'll fire all old employees, avail all benefits, maternity leave, paternity leave. And what will happen to me? I'll be back in the market again. Hi, my name is Navneeth. Anybody willing to offer brother position? See, here's my thing. I get suspicious of my girlfriend even when she tells me she has another friend. Because to me, friendship is basically an access card into a higher floor. That's all it is. If brother wants to join as accountant, friend wants to join as assistant manager. Eventually, he wants to become managing director. Same. Okay, because women in the audience, think about every guy that's been in your life. At some point, he would have tried to be something more. If he hasn't, no, he's going to. At that point, just be prepared with a response. For the simple reason that if us men want friends, no, we will go to other men. Okay, women are much better at so many relationships. I admit, women are much better at being a parent in general. Women are much better at being a sibling. But when it comes to friendship, don't even compete with men. Right? Don't even compete with men. You will send 500 rupees to my bank account. He will create a new bank account. You will help me prepare for the exam. He will sit and write that exam down for me. But when I say this, the first thing that comes to your mind is, hey, that is only because you have something called male privilege. But it doesn't apply in every place, no? Not everywhere male privilege applies, no? And as far as the bigger debate of male privilege goes, there are some fields that are dominated by men. There are some fields that are dominated by women. Agreed? Teaching profession, entirely dominated by women. Air hostesses, we go to a flight for the air hostess. No? Dominated by women. Gynecologist, dominated by women. But you might say that there is an equivalent amongst men. If females show up with such problems, demand a female doctor, male patients who show up will demand a female doctor only. But that will invite its own set of problems. With a female patient, you really have to request her to take her underwear off for examination. With a male patient, you have to request him to put his underwear back on. Sir, it's been 15 minutes since the test got over, sir. At least wear your underwear now. You can safely ask a female patient, have you been sexually active? She'll either tell you yes or no. If you ask a male patient, have you been sexually active? No. He'll be like, I could be. Unga kaila irukku, madam.